This is Bethesda's game design was outdated a decade ago by Nakey Jakey. I will say this, we just reacted to his, not just now, but we reacted recently to his 7 out of 10 games video. Let's see what he has to say about Bethesda's game design being outdated a decade ago. I might agree, because, you know, I've played a handful. I'm something of a Bethesda connoisseur myself, so.
I have made not one, but 2 separate videos claiming that Blank's game design is outdated. And while I'm very proud of those videos, and I pretty confidently stand by those critiques, I wasn't planning on ever using the same outdated title again because I just didn't want it to become this gross YouTuber-y series where I'm just the outdated guy.
What is up, gamers? Welcome back to part 39 of Outdated Stuff. Today, we're going to be taking a look at this expired banana.
Yeah, I mean, like, in terms of gaming being out, in terms of, like, you know, game design being outdated, that goes for a lot of developers. More so than you would like to believe. Hang on, I'm sorry. I just need to close one of my windows. But yeah, a lot more games are like have design models that are like heavily outdated. So it's not a wild concept to have. It's not a wild concept to grasp. I don't know why I can't speak. But yeah, it's really not that radical of a concept.
On my counter. If that ain't outdated, then you better call the dog catcher because it must be raining cats and dogs out here. But when thinking about the past 10 years of Bethesda,
I'm not really big into bananas. I'm just gonna say that. Just not a big fan of them. I only tolerated them in childhood, but just don't like them that much.
The game studio's catalog: Fallout 4, Fallout 76, a billion more versions of Skyrim, and now Starfield.
There is not a more succinct or accurate word to describe how I feel about these games. I have personally made things that some people did not like and
I mean, I'll say this. Those games are still pretty solid games. I mean, Fallout 4 was really buggy at launch, from, you know, what I understand. So yeah, Fallout 4 was kind of rocky. The story was, you know, universally polarizing. You know, endings were kind of, you know, some people liked them, some people didn't. Yeah, Fallout 76 which was just, you know, completely busted at launch. So yeah, I mean, it's just now getting better, but it was not that great when it first came out. As for Skyrim, they've released way too many versions of that game, let's be honest. I mean, I think it's still pretty neat that people on Nintendo Switch could play Skyrim. And, you know, they made a version for VR, which, good lord. The amount of memes that came out of that one were just wild. And, yeah, I mean, Starfield is just the most recent example, and, you know, a lot of people aren't really that happy about it. Considering the fact that, you know, there are paid mods, along with, like, free mods for Starfield now, so. And we know, let's be honest, we all know how people feel about paid mods in Bethesda games, if not like every single game. So
criticized, and that's great. Honestly, that's fine. That's exactly how it should be. Why am I saying that right now?
Just to say that I know what it feels like. I want to make it clear that I have a lot of respect and appreciation for the hardworking individual devs that crunch 12-hour days to release AAA games on time that we all get to play.
Thank you for making video games, everyone who makes video games out here in the prairie.
So I promise I don't mean to be hyperbolic or dramatic just for the sake of it when I say I am truly baffled by Starfield. It is seriously shocking to see just how little this game attempts to improve or even successfully reuse the same formula and same Frankenstein game engine that Bethesda have been selling to their fans for well over a decade.
I mean, like, I'm gonna be real when I say this. I played Starfield via Game Pass Ultimate's what's it called? remote play. So I played, I want to say like 2 or 3 hours of Starfield. I didn't really run into that many bugs. I mean, you know, there are a few. Like, there are a few graphical glitches, but you know, graphical glitches could just be equated to the remote play feature for Game Pass. So it's hard to it was hard to like tell what was a glitch and what was just, you know, the game being streamed on a console that was never intended to be played on. I don't know.
Cannot understand how this is the space adventure Todd Howard has dreamt of making for 25 years and cooked in the oven for 8.
But I wanted to try. I really wanted to understand. I wanted to love this troubled game so badly.
And I stayed committed to this relationship for hours and hours and hours, ignoring every possible red flag that came my way. But I can't do it anymore, and I feel like I have to make this video just purely for my own sanity.
No, this one is for me, because this damn space game changed me.
I will say this, I think like, who was it? I think Todd said that, you know, there are like over 700 unique well-crafted, like handcrafted planets in the game, when, you know, I don't think there were that many, number one. Number two, it's pretty clear that they use procedural generation. God, that was a rough one to get out. So yeah, game was, you know, generated, I'm pretty sure, number one. And yeah, I don't know, like the whole development process had to be rough. I'm just gonna say that. Yeah, but
people
Bethesda
often
games.
describe Bethesda games as Bethesda games, but what does that even mean? In 2011,
What it means is like, oh god, what it means is if the game is busted at launch, modders will be like, I can fix that. That, to me, that's what the Bethesda game is. If it's busted at launch, leave it to modders to fix it, because, you know, Bethesda most likely will not.
I would have said open world action RPG where you could go anywhere, do anything, good or evil, knight or wizard, but you're definitely going to be a sneak archer like every single time without fail. To me, it meant giant world with total player freedom to do what they wanted to do. Don't like someone? Shoot them in the face. Want someone's stuff? Sneak behind their waist. Want to climb that mountain? Hump it on the face. Fallout 3 was my first Betty game after
Oh my god, the alliteration. Yeah, but yeah, I guess we all have our different definitions of what a Bethesda game is, you know. To me, it's just a buggy mess that sometimes modders are left to fix, because, you know, let's be honest, Bethesda probably won't fix it. I'm just gonna be real when I say that. They're probably not gonna make any proper fixes to it, unless it's a serious issue. Then, you know, they'll put out a hot fix or two. But, you know, for like the minor stuff, I mean, it is what it is. Like, you know, Fallout 4, like when you actually got to downtown Boston on console initially, yeah, it was borderline unplayable. But you know what? Hey, that wasn't a big deal. They did make changes to Fallout 4 eventually, and like it's now playable, but yeah, it just wasn't great initially. Depending on what console you play on, it probably still isn't great. Oh god, I didn't mean to do that. I did not mean to shoot. I didn't mean to time out. Oh god. Oh shoot. Where was I? Oh god, where was I? You know what? Hey, we'll go back to
4 is he's counting stars.
Oh no.
Are going to be a sneak archer like every single time without fail? To me, it meant giant world with total player freedom to do what they wanted to do. Don't like someone? Shoot them in the face. Want someone's stuff? Sneak behind their waist. Want to climb that mountain? Hump it on the face.
Fallout 3 was my first Betty game after convincing my dad that, nah, dude, it's not violent at all. You don't have to be violent. You could choose to be good and talk your way out of every situation. Which was total.
Yeah, I didn't play Fallout 3 until like, God, I don't really remember. I think the first time I played Fallout 3 was probably like when I got into 5th grade. Maybe it was like when I actually reached middle school that I first played Fallout 3. Yeah. I enjoyed it a hell of a lot, let's just be honest. I mean, you know, I've said repeatedly that it's my favorite game of all time, so to say that I liked it a hell of a lot is a massive understatement, because, again, one of my favorite games of all time. But there was still some, like, funny glitches that occurred, like, well after, you know, they moved on from the game. Like, the fact that Deathclaws would launch into the stratosphere after you killed them. Yeah, that was... My God. You just had to play it, dude.
Fucking bullcrap.
Yes, these games might be RPGs, but they heavily lean on the action part of action RPG. Can you sometimes do quests non-violently? Definitely. Yeah. But more often than not, your to-do list revolves around you killing people and things and spiders and ghouls, and there's usually not a whole lot of wiggle room around that part. A lot of the time, your choices are boiled down to, okay, so do you want to set them on fire first and then shoot them, or just do them raw? If you play Fallout New Vegas, made by Obsidian, those are some RPG-ass RPG choices, where I feel like the player has way more freedom to express themselves morally, ethically, whatever, in a given quest. But as much
I want to say that I'd say that Obsidian crafted New Vegas to be an RPG first, and then you know, just be like a an action first person shooter kind of thing. But you know, Obsidian wanted it to be an RPG, so and you know, to an extent they did succeed, because Fallout New Vegas is looked on very favorably as, you know, one of the greatest, you know, RPGs, and like, in some people, the greatest Fallout game of all time.
As much as I gush about New Vegas on this channel, there is something missing in this game when compared to Fallout 3.
Yeah.
Atmosphere. I think Bethesda typically crushes that shit.
Even though New Vegas is a much better game mechanically, Betty's world felt a lot more engrossing to explore. Even if a lot of the...
Yeah, Fallout 3 felt like infinitely better to... It felt like infinitely better to explore, and just like to try and uncover the secrets of, pretty much. Like, I don't know, like, dude, when you went to the Dunwich building in Fallout 3, you felt on edge, like, the entire time you were there, pretty much. Like, you head to Camp McCarran. It's like, all right, I'm here. I guess I'll do a few quests, but then I'm just gonna head back out, because this place is kind of like, you know what I'm getting at. It just, Fallout 3 felt, you know, the atmosphere felt, you know, like you were pulled in, and like compared to New Vegas, it felt a lot better. Like, that's one of the things I'll always hold Fallout 3 over New Vegas for.
The supposed freedom promised to the player is kind of an illusion. You know, you can't actually kill anyone if they're an essential NPC for a quest line. They just take a nap on the floor. Still, Bethesda does a really great job at making you feel like you're on this grand adventure.
And the soundtracks, dude, oh my God.
I'll say this, like, a big W that I'll give New Vegas over, like, Fallout 3 is that, you know, companions were marked as essential, so, like, you had to, you know, like, you actually had to sort of break your affinity to a certain character in order for that tag to be removed. Like, you know, if you, God, who was it? Who am I thinking of? I forgot, but, like, yeah, if you alienate, a certain faction, you know, like, a certain companion will, break off of you, and then, like, their essential tag will be removed. So, But for Fallout 3, there were no essential tags for companions. If they died, that was it. They're dead. You had to boot up a previous save in order to keep them alive, pretty much.
God, the Skyrim soundtrack alone might be up there with Chrono Trigger for like the greatest video game score ever made.
All of these songs make you feel like you're living inside of an ancient blade made of suede. Oh my god, I'm getting really fucking tired of always coming home to this dude saying some more stupid crap. Hi, I'm Jakey, and Jakey, attorneys at law. Thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. Is your browser boring? Does it make you want to go outside? No, don't go out there. There's wolves out there. Opera GX is a web browser for gamers that you can customize. In the GX store located over here, you can get a variety of browser mods, such as my own, that have their own background music, keyboard sounds, opening and closing of tab sounds, theme and color of the browser itself, unique...
By the way, yep, I've been on it. I've been on it this entire time. Always has been.
Wallpaper. You can also disable and enable specific mods in the mods menu located on the sidebar. Does your web browser keep you informed on all things gaming? It doesn't? What the hell? With the GX corner located over here, Opera GX will keep you up to date with free games, the best deals, the hottest new releases, and gaming news all in one convenient corner.
Yeah. Speaking of, I've not actually checked the Epic Games Store. I wonder what the actual free game is like. This week. I might check it after we watch this, but hey.
Look at this deal. Look at this deal. Are you seeing the deals? Look at the fucking deals, Derek. Don't worry about losing all your stuff from those other browsers. Opera GX has a handy import tool to quickly take all of your shit like bookmarks and cookies and browsing history from your old rinky-dink browser to your sexy new sports car browser. And Opera GX also works with every Google Chrome extension. If you download Opera GX,
I think I already said. Did I tell you guys that I lost all my passwords like at first when I switched over to GX? Yeah, I ended up getting them. I ended up getting them back. That's what I forgot to mention. But it took. That was. But yeah, there are still a few accounts that I'm like locked out of essentially. And accounts that I've probably already forgotten about, so not a huge loss, because I don't use those services anymore. Yeah.
GX using my special link located here or down below. You'll also have access to a unique feature where you'll see all of my 12 most recent videos in your GX corner, so you'll never miss it when I upload a new video in 3 months. Use this link
Oh shoot. Is there an actual thing? Is there, like, I know this is probably just exclusive for Jakey, but is there a thing like that where you can actually, where like for certain channels you could actually see their videos? Not just like not a specific channel, but just like a handful of channels you get to see their most recent video. If so, I should probably look for that, because that would be really helpful.
Located down below to download Opera GX today. Thanks again to Mr. GX for sponsoring this video. Now let's get on back to whatever the hell Super Nakio Jakio 64 is. He's counting stars. Let's see if he counts all 120 of them. He probably didn't even do TikTok clock yet, because he's a worthless piece of shit. But because Bethesda
games... That was a decent ad read. I'd give it, I'd give it 7 out of 10. Because not everything is a 7 out of 10 is blatantly atrocious. But it was a solid ad read. I'll still commit to 7 out of 10 for that one.
Are so unique and so dearly beloved by so many fans, people often give them a free pass when it comes to certain issues because, it's a Bethesda game. What are you gonna do? Issues such as dated melee combat and extremely dated gun combat, even for the time. Brain dead enemy AI, clunky UIs that
God, I'm struggling today to actually string thoughts together. For me, like when it comes to Fallout, especially on console, less is more, because I still download mods on for Tale of Two Wastelands to make combat feel a bit more modernized. But other than that, I don't really mind the simplistic style of Fallout 3 and New Vegas's combat. I actually kind of enjoy it.
always have to be fixed with mods. Optimization and performance issues that always have to be fixed with mods.
Yeah.
Enough bugs to fill a fucking terrarium that always have to be fixed with mods. If any other AAA shooter had this...
Yeah, those are, again, I said it before. Well, to me, a Bethesda game is, if Bethesda doesn't fix it themselves, modders will, pretty much. God, okay.
Same issues that Fallout 3 had,
man.
where the guns barely even functioned and cast bullets from their mouths like spells from a wizard's sleeve. And the game ran at 6 frames per second on the PS3 because, oops, you saved too many times, don't do that. People would riot. But because...
That was a big thing, dude. Like, that was a bad thing for PS3. And yeah, I don't think they ever actually went out of their way to fix it. I think it's still a problem where if you have too many saves, the game will just like, dear God, you're gonna be struggling to actually finish your playthrough. I think New Vegas also had a thing where if you had too much ammo, I'm pretty sure the game would start stuttering and whatnot. Yeah, I know that because I personally had to deal with that on PC. So yeah, that was not great. That was not a great. Bethesda games aren't exactly the most stable. Let's just keep it at that.
These issues are part of a giant package, and the appeal is usually greater than a sum of its janky parts.
Nothing.
People just kind of go, what are you gonna do?
It's a Bethesda game.
Which, sure, maybe in 2008, maybe some of this stuff could be ignored. But it is not 2008 anymore.
No.
Hell, it is not even 2011,
Nah.
my brother.
In a post-Skyrim world where they have re-released that...
But you gotta think, are Bethesda going to go back to the original ports of the game and actually... Like, are they going to go out of their way to actually update the game on Xbox 360, PS3? Are they gonna go out of their way to put out hotfixes for, the games released then? I'm gonna tell you this. Probably not. I mean, it's not impossible. Developers have updated their games, like, in 2024, 2023. Even though, we are far past the 7th generation. But, yeah, it's not a common thing today. Like, you're probably not gonna see you're probably not gonna see, like, a 50 megabyte update for Skyrim on PS3. Probably not gonna happen. But, hey, companies have done it, and they're still doing it. Like, there are still a few companies that are updating their games today, like their games on PS3, Xbox 360 today, essentially.
That game so many times, and it has sold over 60 million copies now. The whole, but it's a Bethesda game excuse is, you guessed it,
Shit from a butt.
Fallout 4 was when I could no longer stay blind to Bethesda's strong reluctance to leave the caveman Stone Age prehistoric time.
Dude, you could still feel all of the typical creation jank underneath everything.
You still had to edit an INI file to change the FOV or turn off mouse acceleration. The physics were still tied.
Yeah, I hate that there's still not that there were, dude. In Bethesda's most recent update, they didn't give us an FOV slider for Fallout 4, bro. Yeah, like, keep in mind, I enjoy playing an FPS game. Well, not an FPS game, FPS games, I should say. I enjoy playing FPS games, dude. And you want to know what I have to do to change the FOV? Like, playing on console? I downloaded a mod where you have to go to a chem station for in Fallout 4. You have to go to a chem station and you have to actually, make an item that changes your FOV. That's what I've had to, that's what I've had to do now to change my FOV because they didn't give us an option to do that. It just, oh god. Yeah, it's rough out here, man.
To the frame rate. The load times could still go on for an eternity. But hey, at least they made guns function. Like,
I mean, load times, not a big problem for people that are playing on Series S or X or PS5, because, a big thing about those consoles are, heavily reduced heavily reduced load times, I should say.
Kind of actual guns this time, which should be the bare minimum for a first-person shooter in 2015. Meanwhile, Halo's 14 getting ready for her winter form.
Dude, I'll say this. It kind of bugged me that, maybe it's just me, but it kind of bugged me that every single gun in Fallout 4 was left-handed. Like, why was that a design choice? It wasn't that way in Fallout 3. It wasn't that way in New Vegas. Why'd they change it in 4? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand that. Also, yeah, the FOV for the laser rifle was just... Oh my... That was vile, dude. They haven't changed it either. Like, that's still the FOV for Fallout 4 and, 76 on console. You have to download the mod to actually reduce the FOV for the laser rifle. Ugh, yeah, that was rough.
Normal. Simple things for a shooter like swapping weapons or throwing grenades felt super unresponsive and wonky, like the game was constantly fighting you on.
Yeah, it just felt like for throwing grenades and stuff. It felt incredibly clunky. Like it didn't feel satisfying. I'll just say that it did not feel satisfying to throw grenades in Fallout 4. It still doesn't. But that's why I barely use grenades. Unless I absolutely have to, I will not use grenades in Fallout 4. And, pretty much using grenades in 76 is just like... yeah, that's pretty much a given, because you're gonna be limited on like the amount of ammo you have, and pretty much you might like only have grenades by the time you run out of ammo for like your third gun. So yeah, I don't know. I just wish that they would make innovations, improvements, because I don't know. It just seems like they just limped along when it came to doing some of the things for 4 and 76.
Every delayed input. And again, 2015. This wasn't like a long time ago. But man, I still played the shit out of this game, and
yeah,
it is
same.
Fallout 4 is the most...
Dude, I just recently started playing this game again. Granted, with like a ton of mods to actually like change a lot of the left-handed animations and stuff. But yeah, I still have a lot of fun with Fallout 4. Same way I've been having a lot of fun with 76 recently. Just because the games were inherently, broken, or to some extent still a little bit broken. But yeah, they're still fun. I still enjoy them.
Bare bones RPG. Where Fallout New Vegas went left toward old school traditional Fallout games, Fallout 4 was like, alright, so...
Fallout 4 went along with Fallout 3. So did 76.
It's kind of like janky Minecraft, but with guns. Which turns out is actually pretty fun. The gameplay loop of exploring a detailed Bethesda world filled with cool stuff.
By the way, I actually have started playing Minecraft again, so... If anybody has gotten this far in the video, you should recommend me some mods to use in Minecraft. I'm not gonna stream PC Minecraft, but hey, it's just a fun little thing that I play off stream. So if anybody wants to suggest me some mods, I'll look into them.
Getting loot and supplies from fighting baddies and using VATs, using those supplies to upgrade your guns, working on your settlements with the janky-ass builder that also has to be fixed with mods. It was all...
Yeah, I've had to use Place Anywhere as well, so... Yeah, not great.
Pretty fun to me. Objectively, my critic brain is like, yeah, this game has a lot of flaws, and the dialogue system really sucks, and the perk tree sucks, and the role-playing options are basically non-existent. And the main story makes like zero sense if you stop and think about it, because if someone was searching for their kidnapped baby son, why would they stop and help a bunch of other families first and eat 100 rad roaches? But
yeah, that's a big plot hole. That was like a big plot hole that a lot of people, didn't actually enjoy. Hey, I mean, you could just go straight to the main quest, no problem. But hey, what's really the fun in that? Personally, I just play with a alternate start mod, so it's not like you're not playing as a sole survivor in that regard. You're playing as just an outside character. It's a lot of fun. It opens up like a lot more avenues for role playing.
Subjectively, my Bethesda brain is like, ooh, boy, I better scrounge up some more of these desk fans. Even with all its jank, and there is a lot of jank in Fallout 4, like any area.
The headless glitch. I totally forgot about that. Oh my god, dude! Back when hang on. Back when there was Okay, let me start this. Okay, back when there was communities for PS4, I was part of a Fallout 4 community, and dude, the amount of headless glitches that I saw in in those communities, I personally I didn't see it. I didn't have to deal with it, but yeah, I saw other people's screenshots. They were kind of funny. Just headless individuals. Oh my god, that was wild. They patched it. They made sure to patch it, so hey.
Downtown just straight up doesn't run well at all. For what it was,
Yeah, and also keep in mind, if you're playing on last gen, downtown is still super buggy, even without mods. Like you're bound to crash like 1 or 2 times without mods. If you play with mods, then God save your soul. That's all I'm gonna say. Just God save you if you play with mods and you go into downtown Boston. You're not playing the game at that point. Let's just be real. It's best to just get what you're after and just try to GTFO, because pretty much you're gonna be dealing with a lot of freezes, a lot of lockups, a lot of crashes when you get to the actual downtown area. So yeah, just be conscious. Oh god, that was a bad voice crack. Just be conscious of the mods you download, because that they matter. They matter. Let's just be honest.
had fun with Fallout 4.
But what it was unfortunately a very crystal clear sign that Bethesda was falling behind the times harder than ever before. Also, I went to kindergarten and first grade here and walked home from school one day and realized we got out early because of 9/11. I don't know why I'm talking about that right now. I wish I could say.
Well, why does that? What does that have to do with anything? Like, I'm just gonna say this. I'm sorry. I'll just leave it at that.
I was shocked when Fallout 76 turned out to be shit from a butt, but dude, I wasn't shocked at all.
Not trying to be on some cool guy shit, but
dude, keep in mind, this was essentially Fallout 4 online, pretty much, but in a set in a different place. And dude, the creation engine was not meant to work with a multiplayer framework. It just wasn't. And like, they're maintaining it well enough right now, but it's just not a multiplayer engine.
the second I saw the reveal presentation and how it was going to run on the same janky-ass engine that barely manages to work as a single-player game, and now it's going to be multiplayer online, like www.com type online.
Yeah, and dude, there are still a lot of bugs for 76, like, from texture bugs to just, animations not triggering properly. Things like that. They patched a lot of that stuff out, thankfully, but it's still not perfect. Let's just say that the game is still not perfect, and it's a long way to from being perfect. Let's be honest.
Todd, and I'll be a monkey's uncle. Oh, my sweet bimbo, you have returned. You all know this story. Game comes out, one of the worst launches ever. Bug terrarium is like 60.
I said this before. I think I said this in like the last Bethesda video.
Yeah, Todd, and I'll be a monkey's uncle. Oh, my sweet bimbo, you have returned. You all know this story. Game comes.
Yeah, about this situation right here. The dude who did this is, is kind of dumb because, let's be honest, he would have just automatically gotten trade credit anyway, so that's just GameStop's policy. It's not their fault that they couldn't, give him a full cash refund for 76. That was just their store policy, so this guy trashing GameStop doesn't really make a lot of sense. Which, I'm just gonna say that. I mean, sure, he was mad about it, but what were they really going to be able to do? Pretty much, like they couldn't do anything.
Out, one of the worst launches ever. Bug terrarium is like 16 times the detail. Bethesda gets super scummy about refunds and then gets super scummy about pushing these overly priced microtransactions. Also cheaps out on the canvas bag that's supposed to be included in the collector's edition.
Yeah, that's a nylon bag. And dude, also, bro, I didn't even talk about this. I didn't even talk about this 2 days ago. Like when I started to stream. God, I cannot speak. I didn't talk about this when I actually, started to stream like 2 days ago, because I harped on about Fallout 76 for like 20 minutes before I even got into like reaction. But essentially, yeah, they said, you know what? Hey, we're sorry. We'll make the canvas bag. And they said, if you want to claim it, just forward us your address, your email, and, your legal name. And we'll be able to get it out to you in, like, God, how long was it? Like, a few months? You want to know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. Apparently, the site where they were holding that information was not secured properly, and pretty much thousands of people were doxxed. I'm not joking. That is what happened. For the people that actually wanted to redeem the canvas bag, it was... they pretty much got doxxed, essentially. My opinion, not worth it. Not really worth. Oh my god, this was just like the Power Armor edition was just. If you got it, I'm genuinely sorry, because yeah, you got screwed multiple times. Let's be honest, you got screwed multiple times. Not a fun ordeal. Oh god.
It was awful. Fallout 76 is like the poster child for taking advantage of a devout fan base and releasing a clearly unfinished, faulty product.
I'll see a lot of people online chalk up 76's.
Dude, I'd say that, hey, just push it back to like 2019 or like 2020. Like back before anybody knew that the world would actually shut down in 2020. I would say, like, hey, you know what? This clearly won't be finished in time for, like, the launch in 2018. Push it back a year or two. And, apparently, I guess, investors wanted something to be released. So, hey. Yeah, janky friggin' 76.
Failure too. Well, it wasn't Todd and his main team that made the game. There was their B team, Bethesda Austin, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's not the full story. According to several anonymous devs that worked on 76,
I can safely guarantee that there's a lot more that even right now in 2024 we have no idea. We have there are still some details that nobody has any idea of, pretty much. And quite frankly, since the game has gotten better, we might not ever know.
as quoted in this Kotaku article that you should check out, people from multiple Bethesda studios worked on this game. Senior staff from Fallout 4's team, staff taken away from the Starfield team, staff taken away from the Redfall team at Arcane, which, Jesus Christ, that's a whole thing on its own.
Yeah, that's I'll say that Redfall, it is a game. It is one of the games ever. And also, very recently, Bethesda has announced that, you know, that they are actually accepting refunds for people who bought Redfall, so hey, that's a big W, I guess. So yeah, you bought Redfall and like the studio got shelved now. You get a free refund. No strings attached. So that's a massive W. Oh my god. Yeah, Redfall was hot garbage.
Jiminy Cricket, and a jockstrap. 76, as described in this article, sounded like a massive live service black hole that no one wanted to touch, because the writing was all over the bug-covered walls that it was never going to end well. But in typical AAA game dev fashion, QA teams get treated like total shit, and upper management ignores issues raised and continue to force everyone.
Yeah, dude, QA teams are treated like garbage. Ask anybody on Call of Duty QA teams how they know. They'll tell you. QA teams are treated like hot, steaming trash. I'm not a QA guy, but I know a few people that are. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. If you're a member of any QA team, God save you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're treated the way that you are. And you may not even know about it. Oh god.
To crunch toward this deadline they knew they were never gonna make. And yeah, Todd Howard may have not directed 76, but he's still listed as executive producer. And he's the one that went on the big stage and was like, this is the biggest fucking game we've ever made. It's 16 times awesome. You're all gonna nut. Yo, run that John Denver joint. And the pre-orders go crazy and everyone's hyped out of their minds. And then it comes out and it's a trope.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry if anybody has epilepsy. Like, Jesus Christ. But what I was about to say was, they didn't even get the John Denver version of Country Roads. I think they did their own version. So they didn't even get the original freaking Country Roads. Oh god. This game was just a bag full of bad surprises.
Atrocious. And suddenly now Todd is all, yeah, we knew it wasn't gonna be like a high Metacritic score game, but you know what? It sold really well. It's not about how it starts, it's about what it becomes. Thank you very much. Yo, run that John Denver joint.
Come on.
I mean, to an extent, if he did say that, he was kind of right, because hey, 76 is playable now. It's really fun. I'll admit that 76 now is really fun. Like, especially, like, you know, if you decide to either play with friends or solo, it's really fun. You know, they still, you know, I'll say that, you know, it's better to play with friends, but then again, I'm alone, guys. I'm a loner, pretty much. So I play it by myself, because yeah, literally nobody in the Discords that I'm associated in actually plays 76. It's a lot of fun, but just nobody wants to give that game the time of day for whatever reason.
On, man.
According to that same article, Todd was very adamant on the whole no NPCs feature, no matter how much the dev team pleaded that it was an insane choice for Bethesda. You know, the studio most closely associated with NPCs, but also maybe
yeah, they did eventually capitulate with the
Todd isn't.
Oh shoot, they did eventually capitulate with the friggin' Wastelanders update, like shortly after the game. I'd say like a year or two after the game release. That's when they pushed out the Wastelanders, and people initially, you know, had you know, skepticism, but people ended up loving it, dude. Like, I'll just say that. that was a start to what the game, would eventually end up being, which, is a pretty successful live service, I'd argue.
The main bad guy responsible, you know? Maybe he was just under a lot of pressure from big money investors at parent company ZeniMax to make a live service cash cow that would exploit fans and inevitably make a ton of money.
I don't know all the details, but there's enough breadcrumbs to make it insane to me that someone along the food chain with authority, whether Todd or otherwise, didn't stop and adamantly scream, "Hey, let's maybe delay this game permanently."
But at the end of the day, it doesn't.
I don't know about permanently. I mean, hey, you either like it or you don't. That's just what. I mean, dude, we reacted to a video all about that by Nakey Jakey a while back. It could be some people's cup of tea. It could be, people can love it, people can hate it. It is what it is.
Really matter. Regardless of whose fault 76 was, the damage was done and the pressure was on. After an underwhelming and outdated Fallout 4 and an underbaked and severely malnourished Fallout 76, Bethesda really needed to reach for the Skyrim once again and dunk another classic into our laps. But Todd, he don't play basketball.
He plays chess.
And chapter 2. Don't let me. Okay. I don't understand this reference.
I was writing games when I was, 12, whatever. And the other kids in the block would say, I'm going to play quarterback for the Cowboys. And I'd be like, I'm going to make video games and everyone's going to play them. Like, you dork. Go back to the chess club. Who's laughing now?
Yeah, I will concede that I was one of the people that said, you know what? I want to play quarterback for the friggin' Baltimore Ravens or Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, turns out let's just say that did not entirely work out. I'm just look at what I'm doing right now. I am far from that. I'm far from that dream. Very, very far from it. I'm making content on the internet for, not living right now, but hey, it's not completely out of the question.
Yes, I was in the chess club.
It's hard not to like Todd Howard. He has this.
Yeah, I would agree. It's really hard to dislike a guy like that. It's really hard to dislike a guy like that. You have to sympathize with them. Come on now. You have to.
Michael Scott type charisma that's weirdly hard to resist.
And I find his story of repeatedly applying to Bethesda only to be rejected over and over really inspiring.
Because once he got his leather jacket ass wearing through that door, he would direct Morrowind, executive produce Oblivion, direct both Fallout 3 and Skyrim. Love him or hate him, the man's resume speaks for itself. And good God, would you look at that jacket. For being considered AAA, Bethesda is not a very...
That is a pretty sick jacket. I'm just gonna admit that. That's a pretty killer jacket that he was wearing. Yep. Just look at this. Look at this guy. This is a cool guy right here. This is a cool guy in a cooler jacket.
Through that door, he would direct Morrowind, executive produce Oblivion, direct both Fallout 3 and Skyrim. Love him or hate him, the man's resume speaks for itself. And good God, would you look at that jacket. For being considered AAA, Bethesda is not a very big studio. Around 100 people made Skyrim, and they currently only employ like 420 people across all of their studios.
Blaze it. I had to say it. Blaze it. Oh, I'm a child.
In comparison, at least 1,000 people worked on GTA 5 before its release, and 6,000 different people have worked on it since, which is crazy to me considering how slow GTA Online still is.
Yeah, I'll say, and also, I don't think he's gonna say this, but Diablo 4 had over 9,000 people working on it. Keep that in mind. 9,000 people working on Diablo 4. And it's still a very polarizing game. It was at launch. It still is now. Like, there are still a lot of people that do not enjoy that game. Oh, no!
On the one hand,
no.
I think it's really impressive.
Oh, if you know, you know. I'm sorry if you couldn't hear that. I just turned into a seagull I turned into a seagull, but it didn't get picked up in the microphone. If you know, you know. Oh.
That Bethesda is much smaller than other big name
I don't, by the way. I really don't.
studios, because it means they must have some really powerful paladins over there casting some serious buffs. But also, when you're making that AAA money and your games continue to come out janky as shit,
Maybe hire some more fucking people to make your games actually function properly when you sell them for $70.
one source from
Yeah, either hire more people, or hire you know, more experienced individuals, pretty much. Like, that's what a lot of people don't actually factor into. Like, you know, if a game is being developed by like your game is gonna be much better off if it's developed by, like, say, let's just say 250 actually, you know, A-tier developers, as opposed to, you know, over 1,000, you know, B and C tier developers. That's what a lot of people don't actually factor into. Like, the ability of certain developers, pretty much.
from that same article said, Bethesda is a big company that thinks it's a small company, with a mentality of, well, this worked in the 90s, so we're just gonna keep doing it. I mean, yeah, after playing Starfield, that's definitely what it feels like. Boy, I'll tell you what, when I booted that sumbitch up, it was like seeing an X for the first time in 8 years, a poorly optimized X who struggles to have human-like facial expressions.
Oh my
Starfield
God.
isn't even just Skyrim again, but in space, which was always Todd's elevator pitch. No, it would be such an improvement if it was. But no, this is not a Bethesda game based on the definition the dumbass by the piano gave her.
Honestly, what do you guys prefer? Leave it in the comments if you've made it this far. But what do you guys prefer? Skyrim or Starfield? I mean, I could already assume that, like, a crap load of people are gonna say Skyrim, because, you know, yeah. But I don't, like, both games have. I can't even pretend. I can't even pretend with that. One is just a blatant copy of the other, and you could probably guess which one is which. Yeah. Skyrim in space, guys.
Earlier. That signature Bethesda open world exploration and sense of scale and freedom and that feeling of, ooh, there's something interesting around every corner.
Gone.
But Jarbo! There's like 1,000 planets. How can it get any more open world than that? Yeah, and you want to know what you do on 99% of those 1,000 planets?
Absolutely forging nothing. You ain't doing nothing. You hear me? You ain't doing nothing on those planets. Yeah, again, like, they could say that they were handcrafted, but a lot of us know that they were procedurally generated. So, well, that's not entirely. Well, I mean, to an extent, I'd say it's kind of true. But for, like, the procedurally generated planets, they took certain areas and just place, you know, buildings and certain locations on them. So I'm convinced that that's what they did for this game.
This, you walk and walk and walk and sprint and jump and jetpack jump and get really good at watching your O2 sprint meter go up and down and up and down. There is no rover to drive. There is no ship to fly. You just walk and walk and walk until.
And then you eventually reach a building. Keep that. You eventually reach a building. Maybe not a building. Maybe you know, a naturally occurring formation. Maybe something interesting. But you'll keep walking, and then you'll find a certain location. That is, you know, that is essential to the plot.
Until you get to the most copy-pasted structure that you have already seen a bunch of times.
Starfield is the exploration equivalent of holding the Player 2 controller that isn't actually plugged in. It is the illusion of planetary exploration.
I could be very wrong, but isn't this technically similar to Death Stranding? Because, dude, from what I've heard, Death Stranding is a freaking walking sim and a half, pretty much. Oh god, there's a term for it, strand type games. So, to an extent, Starfield is a strand type game as well.
And duct taped together by 1,000 loading screens and a strong desire to waste so much of your time.
Let's talk about fast travel.
Oh my
Can you
God.
say fast travel? Fast travel. Can you say loading screen? Loading screen.
Oh my god.
Loading screen. Loading screen before fast travel? After fast travel.
Oh my
loading
God.
screen. Fast traveling to complete a quest. Fast traveling to start a quest. That's so silly. Loading screen. Peekaboo. Loading screen. Can you say fast travel? Wasting your time? No. Wasting my time? Yes. 2023?
I love this.
Bethesda released this in 2023. Oh no! Can you say leather jacket?
In other Bethesda games, you wanted to walk
Oh my god. That was great. That was great.
to your destinations, because fast traveling meant you might miss out on some neat dungeon or cool, unique structure or wacky enemy along the way.
Not only is fast travel highly recommended whenever possible in Starfield, but it is straight up required.
You cannot fly your ship from planet to planet or even on a single planet. You can enter your ship with a nice loading screen and then sit in your pilot's chair with a nice unskippable animation and then take off with another nice loading screen and then pick your destination from space and fast travel there with another loading screen and then click on the planet to land with another loading screen. Or if your destination is in space, do another unskippable animation to dock your ship followed by another immediate loading screen. But hopefully
I didn't even know it was this bad. Oh my god. Oh no, I didn't even realize it was this dude, even No Man's Sky didn't have this many, friggin' loading screens and crap. Oh my god.
if you've already discovered the specific location you want to go to, you can just fast travel straight there. The second I realized I was avoiding my ship whenever possible, you know, the central core part of a space exploration game, it was over. The most heartbreaking part is that the shipbuilding
that just wow. Dude, you don't even get to fly and touch down on the planet yourself. Oh my god, that's so bad. I didn't even realize. Or maybe I did realize a while back and I just forgot. I just intentionally pushed it out of my mind because, you know, I didn't want to come to terms with the fact that this is what it actually was. Jesus Christ.
fucking amazing. It's like virtual Legos. It is by far the best new thing Bethesda did with this game. But where do you get to fly your ship that you just lovingly spent 3 hours making? In
Absolutely friggin' nowhere.
orbit! Yay!
Let's fucking go!
If you want to see
So essentially nowhere, as I said before. God, that sucks.
your magnificent creation actually move around and fast travel on up to space and float around fighting bad guys and running away from cops with the awful bounty system, which I will get to later. I will spend way too much time talking about that later.
Dude, do you think that, do y'all think that Star Wars Outlaws is gonna be this way? Because I feel like it might. I feel like, you know, Ubisoft was taking all the wrong notes for this game in particular. You know, from this game in particular, and you know, they were saying, hey, you know, let's do this for our game. Let's do this for Star Wars Outlaws. I feel like that's what it's gonna be, because from what I've seen, it's gonna be a similar type of game, pretty much. So I don't know. I have a bad feel. I mean, obviously, I have a bad feeling because it's Ubisoft, and I still can't get over the fact that like the pricing model for Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows is still like the same. Oh my god, that's you know, that's past stuff though. So let's just focus. Let's focus back on this. I'm sorry. Let's focus back on this.
What's really weird is that between the different elements you can mine on planets and the different things you can prioritize within the shipbuilder, there's enough breadcrumbs here to assume that at one point Starfield was probably more of a survival type space game, meaning that landing on a planet maybe served more of a purpose than just sort of.
If only it was that, dude, I would have been more, you know, I would have been more driven to play it if it was a survival space type game. Like, honestly, I kind of enjoy No Man's Sky for that reason, because yeah, it's a space survival game. You know, you take one of my favorite genres, survival, and you throw it in space. I'm down, dude. I'm down. But yeah, they just you know, decided not to do that for Starfield, which, I mean, I can understand why, but damn.
Wandering around aimlessly. Maybe the temperature changes in extreme conditions actually mattered more than they currently do, which is like, not really at all. The shipbuilder even has options to upgrade the fuel tanks or grav drive so that you can jump further into a system. But if you don't upgrade those things, that's fine too. You'll just have to fast travel to a closer system first, and then fast travel to the one you actually want to go to. So upgrading that stuff in your ship just saves you from seeing 2 loading screens, and now you only see 1.
That's
How is this game real?
Starfield has 1,000.
that just gives me a headache, dude, bro. Yeah, so you upgrade your ship essentially. So instead of seeing, God, instead of seeing 1 loading screen, I'm sorry, instead of seeing 2 loading screens, you only see 1. Oh my god. Dude, how did they screw this up this badly? How did they screw this up? I don't even know. I can't grasp for the life of me how they managed to screw this up so badly. Oh god.
Planets. And I wish it had like 5.
Yeah, not every planet in real life space would have a bunch of cool stuff on it either.
Yeah, duh. But that's not my point.
My point is that this is not really a good illusion of anything other than the unfortunate passage of time. No Man's Sky can also have some boring-ass procedurally generated planets. But you know what? At least you can actually fly to them.
Exactly! Like, that's the one silver lining that No Man's Sky... Well, that's one of the silver linings I could give No Man's Sky, because you could actually fly to the planet, dude. Like, you're in control during that, you know, process. You just have to watch a cutscene and sit through a loading screen before... Oh my god. Oh my god, that is... How did No Man's Sky get something right that you couldn't? That's just... That needs to be studied.
Starfield is like watching a magician pull a rabbit out of a hat, but every time he's about to do it, he's like, no, you gotta close your eyes while I do it though. But what about what? I'm not a Best Buy Geek Squad looking ass. Don't say I am. Starfield may have been made with the shiny new Creation Engine 2, but you ain't fooling anyone with that 2, Todd. You may have slapped a spoiler on it, but it's still a fucking Geo Metro. I'm still editing an INI file just to change the FOV or turn off mouse acceleration.
It's still the same thing. Like, you could throw a new coat of paint on a freaking pickup truck. Guess what? It's still a pickup truck. Like, you get what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you slap a 2 at the end of it. That's the same thing that Blizzard did with Overwatch. It was still the same thing. Albeit worse, but it's still the same. Do these companies not learn? I assume that they don't, because oh my god. Oh my god, that is That's brutal.
To make aiming feel better. I'm still clicking on doors and seeing that all too familiar fade out loading screen all the time.
Why did you not optimize this game for PC?
We did. It's running great. It is a next-gen PC game. We really do push the technology, so you may need to upgrade your PC for this game, but it's got a lot of great stuff going on in it, and the fans are responding awesome.
All right,
No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. How could you say that? How could you say it's well optimized? The proof is in the pudding, my guy. Just look on Twitter. Just look at social media. It was not well optimized when it first launched, first released. Oh my god, man.
PC. But I still can't turn on HDR or even mess with the brightness settings, even though the Xbox version already has HDR. And you get a decent frame.
What? So you're able to toggle HD. No. You're able to have HDR on Xbox, but that's not an option for PC. I'm sorry. Why? Why is that a thing? Like, I can't. Oh my god. This was a hot mess when it first came out. Granted they're doing much better with it now, but Jesus Christ. Oh, sorry.
Rate, I have to use upscaling, but I have an NVIDIA card and you only have FSR supported with no DLSS. Oh, someone already modded DLSS into the game within like a couple days. Oh, programmers are making comprehensive breakdowns on Reddit.
Okay, so wait, hang on, I need to go back to that mod screen. What were the
I have to use upscaling, but I have an NVIDIA card and you only have FSR supported with no DLSS.
FSR2. So NVIDIA is DLSS. Intel integrated graphics is XCSS. What is FSR2? I'm assuming that's AMD. All right, dude. See, that's a big problem. Like, dude, what is the biggest brand when it comes to graphics cards? NVIDIA. I mean, sure, like, you know, Intel builds graphics cards into you know, the systems, that into like pre-owned systems. Not pre-owned systems, you know, pre-built systems, I should say. But who uses AMD? I'm assuming people who can't afford an NVIDIA do. I'm not really one to speak. I have Intel integrated graphics myself, but yeah, why would you not have support for like the biggest graphics card? You know, like the biggest graphics card brand, pretty much. That doesn't make any sort of sense. FSR2, Jesus Christ.
Someone already modded DLSS into the game within like a couple days. Oh, programmers are making comprehensive breakdowns on Reddit detailing just how poorly optimized the game is.
Nah, if Todd said it's optimized, then it's probably optimized. I believe him. I will follow my Nord brother into the pearly gates
Hard cap.
of sovereign God and found and graze my hand upon that holy leather.
Breaking news, as of November 15th, Bethesda is finally patching Starfield, adding an FOV slider, poorly implemented HDR, and much-needed DLSS support. Along with clear massive performance gains for both CPU and GPU areas, it's almost as if the game did in fact launch very unoptimized. The timing couldn't be better, 2 months after everyone already stopped playing it.
This game hurts my stupid giant head. I can't understand it.
Same.
I can't seem to do anything right after experiencing this so-called game. Oh my god, I didn't even bring that up yet. God damn it.
In Starfield, you can build settlements, and you have more freedom than ever with the builder, but there's not a whole lot of motivators to interact with it other than harvesting resources from a planet largely void of life.
Yeah, alright, so that's actually pretty good not idea. That was a pretty good, you know, I guess idea. That's a pretty good idea, but the execution in Starfield is just like, yeah. No, like, it's not really that great. It's not really that great on paper, let's just be honest. like, it works in Fallout 4. It works, like, perfectly in Fallout 4. It's just, like, you know, building a settlement in that game is just, like... Building a settlement in that game is just basically, like, punching a... God. It's, like, basically punching a glass pane repeatedly. It's very painful at sometimes. That's why you get mods to help you.
That to the super confusing structure of actually trying to connect your settlements across star systems and all the fast travel screens in between and your ship cargo and your inventory and getting over encumbered and ugh. In Fallout 4, it wasn't fun because the builder was good. Hell no. It's janky as hell and super frustrating.
Yeah, again, like punching a glass pane repeatedly. It just shredding the skin on your hands. That's what it felt like.
But it was fun because you were bringing life back into the apocalypse and building off of really cool existing unique structures so that the dumbass settlers could take back the land. But all of that was powered by the initial core desire of actually wanting to go out and explore and shoot stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. You shoot guns in this game. Starfield also has guns.
Yeah, like the exploration thing is what made Fallout 4, you know, is what made building Fallout 4 worthwhile. For Starfield, it just doesn't work because what is there to explore? Like a bunch of procedurally generated planets? Like, I'm sorry, if I wanted to do that, I'd just play No Man's Sky. And apparently, yeah, like there are quest lines, obviously, because Starfield is a RPG game, but yeah, or RPG, just not an RPG game, but you get what I'm saying.
Starfield has perks just like Fallout 4, and one of those perks is called Rapid Reload, and it does exactly what you think it would do. It makes your reloads faster.
At least that's what it should do. I'm a gamer. I like going fast.
I didn't even know that this was busted at launch.
Throw it on, Todd. Send me the bill. It's on the house.
Days later, I'm playing the game and I throw my last grenade. I reload my gun, and it's way faster than usual. What's going on here? Come to find out, that perk hasn't worked the entire time I've had it, because evidently, if I have any sort of throwable equipped rapid reload, it just doesn't work. I thought maybe I was...
What? Are you serious? I mean, I'm pretty sure that that's one of the things they fixed in, like, one of the patches, like, a patch for that game, but damn, really? So if you had a grenade equipped, that canceled out the... Bro, even Fallout 4 wasn't that bad. Now, I'm pretty sure that game also had, like, a rapid reload. Did it? I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure it did. But yeah, even it wasn't that bad, man. Come on.
Alone, but nope, I looked it up and apparently it's a common bug that at least as of November 15th still persists. Also, you know that text that appears at the top of the screen?
I mean, I'm assuming, considering the fact that this was posted 6 months ago, I'm assuming that it's got fixed. If it didn't, then like, what the hell are they doing?
That says hidden. Not only does this 2023 game use the same bare bones stealth mechanics that are like 20 years old at this point, seeing that text up top, that's a perk now. And you can spend another whole ass perk point, and I quote, to upgrade the stealth meter, which just shows you if you're being close to being detected, which is basically exactly what the eye reticle thing already did in Skyrim.
Well, this is way better and worth spending the point, trust me.
The gunplay in Starfield is an improvement over Fallout 4, but that's like saying a bicycle is an...
Yeah, that's something that I did. That's something that I did point out a while back. By a while back, I mean like when I played Starfield, via remote play, and like when I came back to streaming, I did point it out then. It felt a lot better. The gunplay felt a lot better than Fallout 4. I'll say that. But again, that's like comparing a bike to what was he about to say?
An improvement over a Razor scooter. It's still not an AK-47.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, pretty much. It's like saying, you know, it's like saying a toaster is God, wait, no. It's like saying a microwave. No, I'm getting that backwards. It's like saying an oven is better than a microwave. Guess what? It's still not a Tesla coil. Tesla coil generator thing. I tried to make something work there. You get what I'm saying, though. It's not a massive improvement, right?
The guns generally work a bit better with less delay, you're a bit more agile, you have a jetpack, which sometimes that can be fun. But as a shooter, in 2023, this game is still getting lapped by games from 2012. Hell, games from 2007. 2004. I'm serious. Sit down and play Starfield for an hour and then go boot up Far Cry 3 or BioShock or Call of Duty 4 or any game in the orange box and then go back to Starfield and tell me how it feels. Especially on controller. It just feels wrong. Fallout 4's shooting was...
It can't be that bad, can it? Like, I don't know.
Barely serviceable only because of everything that surrounded it. It worked good enough because you got to explore a cool map and frequently fight cool, varied enemies using VATS. In Starfield, the cool map is gone, the enemies are sometimes varied, but it is predominantly brain-dead humanoid space pirates that will just stand there and let you shoot them. And VATS doesn't exist anymore, so the act of shooting someone needed to feel really, really good. Throw in the still clunky melee combat, the super unintuitive UI of menus inside of menus, and the D-pad weapon swapping from Fallout 4 because apparently having a weapon wheel might make the creation engine explode, and what you have is a worse version of some...
Which, I mean, I'm gonna say this, freaking creation engine is basically just an upgraded version of the Gamebryo engine that both Fallout 3 and New Vegas used. And guess what? I have a mod in Tale of Two Wastelands, which is the combination of Fallout 3 and New Vegas into one game. I have a mod where it actually brings in a weapon wheel, and guess what? My computer didn't explode. So yeah, a weapon wheel could work, but apparently, you know, they just decided, nah, chief, nah, you just get like a cross with three slots on each side. Have fun. That's pretty much what they said.
Something that you have already played
8 years ago. All right, so what about quests? Bethesda has always been so strongly associated with NPCs and quests.
Here's an example of the most common basic ass type of quest in Skyrim. Hey, can you go to this dungeon and kill a bad guy? All right, sounds good. You know what? I'm even just gonna walk over there because it's not that far. Whoa, what's this? A dragon in this economy? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here. I may as well ladder stall tomahawk the dragon real quick. All right, that
is the thing.
What was I doing? Oh, right, the dungeon. Oh, well, hold on a second. There's a cave right here.
I will admit, it's so easy to get thrown off in like these older Bethesda games, especially since I have ADHD. It's just, bro, like I see I say like, you know, hey, I'm going back to let's say I'm playing Fallout 3 and I need to go to say Rivet City. So, and let's just say that I'm in Megaton. I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like fast traveling. I'm gonna walk to Rivet City. So, pretty much, I exit Megaton. I go to walk to Rivet City, and I'm like, hey, there's a bloatfly over there. Let's just kill it. And then I kill a bloatfly. Then I see a rad scorpion. I'm like, oh shoot, that's a rad scorpion. And then like I just keep getting thrown off, and like I just end up in like, damn, I'm not close to Rift. Where am I? Oh, I'm in Bethesda Ruins. Oh damn. So yeah, like it's super easy to get thrown off in friggin' these older Bethesda games. Like, yeah, ask me how I know, because that situation actually happened. I got thrown off a bunch. I wanted to get to Rivet City. I was in friggin', was it Bethesda Ruins? Because that might be a completely different place I'm thinking of. But I was supposed to get to Rivet City. Didn't end up going to Rivet City. Initially, I was like, I just got like thrown off. And I was in a completely different area, so yeah, exploration was just kind of tricky, especially if you have ADHD like I do.
Here,
20 minutes later.
All right, that was a pretty cool cave, and I feel like I got some cool shit out of that. Anyways, the dungeon. All right, let me just stealth archer these freaks real quick. Get some loot. Okay, I'm done. That was a pretty enjoyable, fun hour of gameplay I just got to experience. Here's an example of the most common basic-ass type of quest in Starfield.
I mean, and I will say this, like, just because you get thrown off doesn't mean, like, it's a bad time. Like, some of the most fun I've had playing Fallout 3 and New Vegas was me being like, okay, I need to complete this quest. And then 20 to 30 minutes in, I haven't completed the quest because, I just took a detour to Quarry Junction. And I'm fighting off hordes of death claws, pretty much. So yeah, it's not all bad.
Hey, we lost our scientist friends. Can you go find him? We don't know where he is because we don't have any walkie-talkies or email or texting or cell phones in this planet, in this world. Yeah, sure, I guess. All right. Damn. He's kind of out there. Whatever. I'm sure some cool stuff will happen along the way.
5 minutes later.
Nope.
Man, I sure am getting pretty good at sprinting and jetpacking, and I bet the cave will have like a cool monster in it or something once I get there. Oh, it's literally just you. Now I have to take you back with me? Well, okay, apparently I can just fast travel back, but I don't take you with me. So
I'll say this, like, the not running into anybody or anything, that's just a massive crutch about, procedurally generated, planets and areas of a certain map. Because, dude, you don't get, like, there's no scripted things that happen, essentially. Because it's almost impossible to do with, procedurally generated. I could be wrong. I could have been wrong this entire time. These aren't procedurally generated maps. But hey, I mean, there's no way that they could have handcrafted like 100 planets. I'm gonna be real. There's no way that they could have done that in like the time that they were given to make this game. So yeah, I don't know. That would make. But if they were procedurally generated, that would make sense because. Yeah, there's literally nothing to do. No dungeons, no, abandoned buildings filled with enemies. No enemies roaming the map, nothing. You just go to an objective, that's about it. Yeah. Not fun.
I just went to tell you that your friends are looking for you, and now you're finding your own way back and going back, so why the hell did I even need to come find you in the first place?
What the hell even is this game, dude?
I shit you not, that type of quest pops up all the time, and even if it is an Operation Go Rescue Baby Scientist, it is something similarly mindless and uninspired. A lot of quests in Starfield just play out as a game of fast.
Yeah, that just feels like it would be not mind-numbing. Like, oh my god. That just feels like that just feels like brain rot.
Travel telephone, where you talk to one person and they're like, hey, go tell this person in another galaxy that I said this. And you're like, okay, and you go through several fast travel loading screens and land at a place and go through another loading screen and then walk through a city and get to another place to talk to them. And then you finally talk to the person and they're like, well, tell them that I said this. And so you do all of that again and you go through all the fast travel loading screens and the loading screens and the entering building loading screens and you're like, all right, well, they said this. And it's like, is this what we're doing now? Like, if I'm like 8 years old and you told me, like, take
apparently
over.
Because like it's the game still sold like crazy from what I know, and like yeah, I guess that is what we're doing now. Jesus Christ, that's just so bad. It's just like such like a bad way to design an RPG. Oh my god. You know how I said less is more? In the case of Starfield, not really the case. Not really great to have less is more. Because yeah, just look at that. Just go back and look at the freaking, what's it called? Like the walking for like 5 minutes.
The graphics and stuff away that like, hey, this is what video games are gonna be like. I'd be like, what the fuck? And this
No,
game is not
I
a
don't want that
super
to be the
in-depth
case.
choice, complex, branching, narrative, rich dialogue, CRPG. Like, I don't expect that from Bethesda, and that's fine, I never have. But if you're not that, and you're also not successfully doing the thing that largely defines your games, aka satisfying and rewarding open world exploration, then what the hell even are you? Like, I don't know what genre I would even call this game. Oh no, I'm being... Hold up, we're gonna collect on a bounty. Oh man, we're gonna talk about the bounty in a bit. That's really funny timing. All right.
It's just again Strand type game with RPG mechanics. RPG and FPS mechanics, essentially. That's what Starfield is. Oh god. I just like a lot of Bethesda games, I wanted Starfield to be good, man. I wanted it to if not be great, I wanted it to just be good. I wanted it to be decent. And just looking at it now, man, it hurts to see. It really hurts the soul, dude. Oh my god, I just... Let's keep going.
Well, sorry, gaming. Before the game came out, Phil Spencer, Xbox guy, said something along the lines of, I don't remember exactly, but it was like, I played it so many hours, whatever, I'm going full space pirate. And I got excited when I heard this because I love game systems that let you f around and find out. I'm sure some of you remember how I obsessed over the Wanted bounty system in Red Dead 2 because I just love pushing things and trying to understand how they mechanically work.
Yeah, I didn't think Red Dead 2's one system was all that bad, to be completely honest. I think for what the game was, it was pretty solid. It was pretty good. Could it have been better? Like, maybe, but I don't know how you make a system like that better, if I'm going to be completely honest. Especially given the setting as well.
Hey, we don't actually want to throw you in jail, but we want you to be an
no.
informant
Did he actually...
space.
Did he get copyrighted? Is that why you couldn't hear him? Or is this intentional?
Hey.
I don't know. Wow. If he got copyrighted, then that sucks, because I really wonder what he said.
We don't actually want to throw you in jail, but we want you to be an informant in the space pirate fleet Departed style, you fucking rat.
Really did that.
It was a total bloodbath. Like, I killed so
I'm
many
pretty sure he
dudes
did
and
get copyrighted. Damn, that sucks. Alright, well...
Racked up such a high bounty. But I noticed that a lot of the named NPCs wouldn't actually die when I shot them, which was a bit concerning, but I just kept on fighting.
That's
and eventually I fought my way all the way.
That's the same thing that was in Fallout 4. Like, you'd shoot certain diamonds to the yards and they wouldn't die. And that's what I ran. That's the same thing that I ran into. It's just in a different game.
The cockpit, and there was a second where I was like, oh shit, am I about to hijack this police ship and get the fuck out of here? Nope. Can't fly this ship.
Nope.
And before people would go in the comments and say, oh, it's because you got to upgrade your pilot license thing. Nope. You still can't fly it. You can't fly this ship, or a whole lot of other ships for that matter, no matter what. Just like you can't kill a lot of NPCs, no matter what, because Bethesda wants you to do space their way.
This ship isn't exclusive to just that quest either.
If you've played the game, you know that a lot of the times when you land...
Yeah, like, it's supposed to be a role-playing game where you choose who you want to play, and yet you're still restricted on who you could shoot, who you could side with, you know. Things like that. I don't know, like, I just don't feel like it's a true RPG experience, to be completely honest. I feel like a great RPG game would let you do essentially what you wanted to do, pretty much. They wouldn't force you to do something or to not do something. Keep in mind, you know, not all games that just like force you to go a certain way are bad. Or are terrible. I still think Fallout 3 is like one of the best games ever made, in my opinion, anyway. And yeah, you're essentially forced to be a good guy, essentially. I mean, not entirely, because you could blow up a freaking town. You could blow up Megaton. You could infect the water supply with modified FEV. But you know, like you're just pitted against the Enclave at the end, so like you can't really side with them or you know, whatever. But hey, no, it's still not a bad game. Again, it's one of my all-time favorite games. So I'm just saying, for a game like Starfield, it would have been better if they just, you know, took the training wheels off and just let you have at it. But you know, apparently there needs to be some form of order, I guess.
On a planet, another ship will coincidentally land around the same time, and you can see them and run over there and fight them. And you would assume, I just killed all these pirates. All right, logical next step, loot the ship, take the ship. But a lot of the time, not every time, but a lot of the time, at least for me, it just wouldn't let me. Most of the time I just saw this prompt and I didn't know why. So that bounty I mentioned during the shootout with the space cops, yeah, it's very easy to quickly rack up a very high bounty in this game. And whenever you travel to a planet that has a major city, they do a forced contraband scan on your ship before you can land.
Do I even like video games anymore?
They also check to see if you have a bounty.
Yeah, that's a question that I ask myself countless times. Do you even like this anymore? And my answer half the time is, I have no clue.
Detection on the scan, but it requires having hidden cargo space on your ship.
Why am I here? Why am I doing any of this?
Normal
just to suffer.
Items that you can pickpocket or steal aren't marked as contraband, but they are marked as stolen items, and they have this little red icon. But contraband items always have this orange icon because it means they're extra illegal.
Help me.
No, I think that's yellow. But I understand what you're saying.
So let's start here. Say you want to be a grimy little space thief, so you're constantly pickpocketing and stealing stuff wherever you go. In typical Bethesda fashion, a lot of the time, if you're sneaking and stealing, you won't get caught stealing. Hope you spent the perk point on the stealth thing, but oops, sometimes you just do get detected, even if no one is around to witness you murder that person except that person, or no one is around to witness you steal that cup except that cup. Suddenly, everyone in the galaxy knows that it was specifically you that stole that cup.
Yet, it's the future, so every single thing has a tracker on it, apparently. And if it goes out of place, even for a sec, even if you're just like moving it to a certain area, in the you know, somebody's dwelling, you're just like no, the people are just like, you've been bad. You go to space jail now. That's pretty much what they're like.
Cup, even though apparently cell phones or email or fax machines or texting don't exist based on the context of most of our fucking quest objectives.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore. Please let me go.
So now you have a bounty in that star system, and then you're like, well, if I already have the bounty, then I guess I'll just keep doing it. And if anyone gets in my way, I'll shoot him because I'm a freak. That's my identity now. I'm a freak. I wasn't born this way, but I was molded by Todd and his leather. So you're traveling around, stealing stuff from all these planets, trying to have a grand old time, and your bounty is getting pretty stacked. But oh shit, there's a main story mission in a city that you haven't been to yet, in a star system that you have that giant bounty in. You get scanned, the cops are pissed. You can choose to fight them off and grab drive fast travel away, but if you want to ever enter that city, you're gonna have to do something about that bounty. So you work.
Yeah. Not great.
Back, and this
Not
time
a
you're
great
like, all right,
situation.
well, I can't pay the bounty because it's insane, so I guess take me to jail. And when you go to jail in this game, the cops will not only remove every single item from your inventory that was ever stolen, which slowly lists away at the top of the screen one by one, which this is never explained in the game as like some lore accurate space technology that tracks ownership. It's just magic where a cop 4 planets away knows that you stole this specific pen. But your punishment for jail time is an XP debt. It will never lower your current level, but it will erase any current XP progress that you've made towards leveling up, and potentially even put you into the negative as well.
Yeah, wait, bro, I didn't even realize that. That's wild. That sends you into the negative freaking XP. Jesus Christ. That's so bad.
Which it will be.
This is kind of like how Jail Time and Oblivion could randomly lower some of your skills. Starfield says, hey, we know we can't actually force the player to sit in a jail cell, but we want there to be some sort of consequence for it being bad. And part of me is like, damn, that's actually kind of interesting and creative, except leveling up takes a long ass time in this game. For example, to level from level 10 to level 11.
I'd assume so, because you're barely killing enemies, essentially. Because there's literally nothing roaming on the planets that you're on. Oh my god, let's just finish this up, man.
It's around 900 XP, and it only gets exponentially more grindy the higher you get. So if you have a high bounty, which is not hard to get, you will be in this much debt. Have fun crawling out of that hole, you filthy little pirate bitch. It's also worth—
Jesus Christ, oh my god. That's brutal.
Noting that much like a lot of stuff in this game, this
man.
mechanic is barely explained at all, and the only way to realize that you are in XP debt or track it is to look at the status screen.
I understand having some sort of punishment for doing something bad and getting caught. I really do.
But when leveling is this grindy, and the perks you get from leveling up don't actually work, or just straight up aren't worth it, and the game requires you to be scanned in order to land on certain planets because you can't actually just fucking fly the ship to the planet in this goddamn space game. Being punished this—
that just, like, literally, that's such bad design, number one. Number two, like, you like, your best bet is just playing as like a good guy, essentially, because you're gonna get shafted hard pretty much if you play as the villain, as like a villain role, sort of, or anti-hero or whatnot. It's not worth it, man.
harshly for choosing a playstyle that is supposed to be viable in this so-called RPG is just super disappointing.
That it's far from viable. Let's just say that. It's very, very far from viable.
It would be a disappointment regardless of whatever year it came out, but unfortunately for Bethesda, 2023 was obscenely stacked with fantastic games in each of those specific genres that Starfield takes turns cosplaying as.
It is an open world exploration game with little...
Yeah, you gotta keep in mind, 2023, that was when Baldur's Gate 3 freaking Lethal Company released. And I'm pretty sure Helldivers 2 as well. I could be completely wrong about that, but yeah, 2023 was stacked, dude. There's no way that Starfield was standing out. Let's be honest.
No actual meaningful exploration. It is a glorified looter shooter that is still catching up to games that are now old enough to be in high school. And it is a role-playing game with so few meaningful roles to actually play and relationships to engage with.
I really want to like this game. I am always going to cheer for Todd and Bethesda because...
Again, I wanted Starfield to be so great. To be like so great. Not so great, just... If it couldn't be great, I just wanted it to be good. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's good. Most optimistic of me to say this game is, just half decent. But hey, that's me just being very... That's me just being very lenient.
Because they have given me so many amazing, memorable experiences for the past 20 years that have largely influenced my love for gaming.
I want the next Elder Scrolls game to knock it out of the park. I will always root for anyone trying to make an ambitious video game.
But after seeing what Bethesda has put out over the last decade...
I mean, you have to think about it too. They aren't the same Bethesda that they were when Skyrim released, or when Fallout 3 released. Times have changed, man. And if you're thinking that, Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna hold up to the same standards of Skyrim, I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna say this. Hope to be amazed, expect to be disappointed, pretty much. Because I don't know, man. Just the direction that they're going, I don't have a whole lot of faith.
I just couldn't contain these thoughts and feelings any longer.
I hope this video was at least kind of interesting, or at the very least digestible in a way that sort of made sense, even though I feel like I should be in the psych ward.
If you could still see me right now, thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.
This is actually my off-road ball, because when I was filming the campfire scenes, my dumbass didn't realize that a yoga ball that I've been using for like 6 years shouldn't go out in the woods where there's like prickly goat head things, and I popped a bunch of holes in it. But fortunately, my sister, the same one that I stole the original yoga ball from, had another gray yoga ball that's like got a bunch of ribs on it. So this is my off-road.
Apparently this is just a thing that he does. Okay.
Ball. Also, I only realized recently that there's like no aliens in Starfield, like big-eyed gray.
Dude, yeah, I was so close to saying that initially. Like, yeah, there are no aliens. Like, it's just space pirates. It's just space pirates and robots. Come on, man. It just, oh my god, it could have been so much better, dude. They could have done this so much better than they actually did. But hey, no use crying over spilled milk, I guess. I'm gonna link you guys the video. I'll say this again. You know, with the DLC coming out for this game, hopefully they can rebound. I'm not really putting a whole bunch of faith in them to actually pull through and rebound.